All right, y'all, come with me to make these crispy chicken pesto sandwiches at 8 p.m. If my man want a sandwich at 8 p.m., he getting it at 8 p.m. And I'm not skipping the cleaning step either. This chicken gonna be clean or it's gonna be gross. Okay, I found this new method on TikTok by somebody, Italian mama, about cutting it this way, which I was real skeptical about, but the way that she did it, it came out nice and full, and she said it makes the meat more tender. So I trust her. She's Italian. So you gotta season your breadcrumbs. I always season my breadcrumbs. She used like Italian seasoning in her eggs. I didn't do that. I didn't have that. Do that, and it's still bust. But yeah, get all your seasonings, make sure those breadcrumbs are super tasty. You're also going to season the chicken. I skipped that step, but you get the point. You start with your dredge, with your wet, and then you get your dry, and this is the step. You're like really pressing it in. It was a real arm workout. You're pressing it in to get it flat in the breadcrumbs, and it really sticks. So that is her method. So we're gonna try it out and figure out whether it busts. Well, actually, I already know it busts. I'm telling you it busts. I'm never going back. She knew what she was doing, and I liked how flat it got, and I didn't have to fight with the knife to cut it all thin. Then you're gonna fry it in your oil. We used avocado oil. Get it all crispy. This is probably a little more crispy than I typically like it, but it still busts. Hear that? Listen to that. Get your pesto going. So you have your basil, garlic. I always say save those scraps. Make a nice stock. I'm gonna show you one day how I make my stock. And then you want to season it with black pepper. And I like using salt flakes because I like a salty pesto, and I like to get that crunch sometimes from the flakes if it's not fully blended, and add a whole bunch of olive oil. Once you got your lemon all squeezed in there, you're going to get to blending your pesto. But then I realized I forgot some. The pine nuts, girl. The pine nuts are not in there. They're not in there. I was giving pesto a thick consistency. Put that away in a jar because you'll have a lot to spare. We've been on a health kick, so we're using Ezekiel bread. The best breads obviously are like the rolls and stuff, but do what you need to do. The best way to get a crisp on bread is actually using mayo, not butter. And like that fat gets it crispy. Get your mozzarella cheese. Put your sauces on there. I don't know why this was throwing me off so much. It was like playing Tetris, trying to get the right, the bread in the right places. And then you got your little sandwich. And let me tell you something, it's slap. Okay, bye.